Blooming Brilliantly started as an inspiration. I know every single person is extraordinary. They've done extraordinary things, they have extraordinary achievements, and they are extraordinary in everyday life. Many people play the ordinariness and forget the extra. And they pass people in the street as not even people. You read obituaries though, and we're amazed by who people are and the celebration of their life and what they achieve. There's 7 billion people on the planet, 15% of them are illiterate. So if you can read, write, and add up your phone bill, then that's extraordinary.
My name's Ronnie Khan. I'm the founder and CEO of OzHarvest. I've been living in Sydney for the last 25 years. Love it, it's beautiful. I was not born in Sydney. I was born in South Africa, and in between South Africa and Australia, I lived in Israel for 18 years.
I'm Matthew. I'm married, got 2 boys. I've grown up in the Sydney area, and who am I? I suppose once upon a time I was a motor mechanic. I've been a teacher, I've done a whole heap of different things. I identify myself with a 4-wheel drive outdoor camping environmental sort of community.
I'm Darren Younger. My background is in IT, so I have done some startups and some worked as a programmer early on in my life, and more recently had some startups that I created back in 2005, which has kind of grown up over time. Very successful company now, so it's quite cool. And what recently I've been more involved in a lot of the entrepreneur community in Manly, and getting involved in those guys and helping that environment in Manly.
I'm Liesl Tesh. I live in Woy Woy, and I'm me. I'm a Paralympic athlete. I've just won a gold medal. I have realised that I can do whatever I want in the world, and have crazily set up an international aid and development organisation. I'm a high school teacher, I'm a wheelchair basketballer, I'm a sister, I'm a great cook, I love gardening, I love nature, I kayak, I ride my bicycle, I love life. Day to day, I'm up and about early, and breakfast is out on the veranda with the magpies on my arm, looking out over the waterfront. Before work, I'm a high school teacher. Before work, there's always time for gardening. There's often a bit of time on the internet, getting stuff sorted out on whereabouts in the world I actually am, organisational stuff. And then I usually ride my bicycle to work. So I'm an incomplete paraplegic. I don't walk all that perfectly, but I ride my bicycle to work, and I've got a wheelchair at work. And then I put on my high school teacher's hat, and by day I'm a high school teacher. So geography, Aboriginal studies, business studies, commerce, work education, Japanese if I have to, until 2:50 when I take off the school teacher's hat, jump on the bicycle, and I'm off to the next adventure, whatever that may be. So that varies depending on the moment.
In the week, it's quite hectic around the work scene. So often I'll have either an early morning start with some kind of event, or we'll have often there's a lot of events at night, that kind of thing as well. And then my work day during the day, but and then also have the family life. So weekends it changes totally. So there's not much work at all, and it's more about taking kids to sport, looking after the babies. We've got 5 kids, so ranging from 13 down to one and a half.
Day-to-day life for me can be very varied. I've been in business, owned my own businesses, been in business partnerships. Currently I'm working back where I started my career. I'm working as a welder and a trades assistant in that area. But I'm also working to build up a business in the 4-wheel drive presenting industry, presenting 4-wheel drive training videos, presenting on TV.
To find purpose, I think that I left South Africa without fulfilling anything meaningful for South Africa. I was brought up during the apartheid era, a time that is shameful. And being white, you live in that country, and by virtue of the fact that you're white, you're privileged. So even if you are trying to make a difference, but I was young. I mean, I left I left South Africa straight from school because I felt that in trying to make a difference, the chances are that I'd land up in prison and wouldn't get very far. But so in some part, not having done anything meaningful for that country has always sat with me. This is my new country, and I feel privileged. I have healthy children.
Yeah.
I have worked hard and had a roof over my head and have food on my table. So I reached a point that I wanted purpose. I wanted to know what more life was about, why I'd been put on this earth.
I crashed my bicycle when I was 19. I fell off a mountain bike that I rode nearly every single day. I somersaulted over the handlebars, fell about 2 metres, landed on my bottom, and all the vertebrae in my back went and one shut into my spinal cord. I woke up about 2 weeks later off the painkillers after a major operation. I couldn't feel or move anything from the waist down, and I was told I was never going to walk again. But I don't think I ever believed it. It just, okay, this is what happens. We've just got to work through this. I'm going to walk out of this hospital. You wouldn't call it walking. It was a horrific waddle, and it took me about 2.5 hours to get maybe about 50 metres. But in my head, I walked out of that hospital, and I don't know, opportunities would come my way. I was lying on my back, unable to move. 2 people wheeled in saying wheelchair basketball. It was back in the late 80s. We didn't even know what a Paralympic was back then. And in my rehab, I was taken out to this stadium where there were people in wheelchairs going fast and having fun, and to me it was like, oh. And at that stage, my legs weren't working very well at all. And it's like, you know what, this is not going to stop me in life. Wheelchair basketball, and goodness knows what's going to happen. I can have a job, I can have a car, I can have a life, I can get on and I can do whatever I want to do. I might have a wheelchair under my butt. But in the rehab phase, the movement or the swelling and the bruising on my spinal cord started to go down, and I regained a lot of movement. So I'm an incomplete paraplegic. I wear ankle foot braces and some pretty funky shoes that are custom designed for me to allow me to get around. I wheel part-time, I walk part-time. I've finished uni. I've had to modify my career because I wasn't going to be able to run through the rainforest too effectively with a wheelchair underneath me. So teaching has just been absolutely fantastic, and I absolutely love it. And it's 12 weeks holiday a year to chase those other dreams. Making good choices.
What I wanted to do when I set up OzHarvest was really create my legacy, understand that there was more to me than just doing the work I'd done. So I guess in a way I think the word legacy is really what it's about. However, that does not mean that when you think you've left a legacy that's all that you can do. Basically, my role is to meet people, inspire them, and get them to invest, whether it's their time, their energy, their product, their money. Come on board with OzHarvest. Every day, our vehicles collect this beautiful surplus food. It's good food. We don't collect anything that's not in good condition to eat, and we deliver that to over 550 different charitable organizations that service vulnerable people for a whole range of reasons. They might come there because they're hungry, but food is one of the main magnets, and then once people are in these agencies, it offers the possibilities of giving them other services. The interesting thing about one of the benefits is that, of course, when we deliver food to an agency and they don't have to spend money on food, it saves them significant dollars. So an average agency says we save them between $60,000 to $100,000 a year, which they then can redirect to other programs, because as you can appreciate, most of these organizations have so little money and so on such minuscule budgets that anything that they can save is phenomenal. Yeah, so that's what we do. We collect 7 days a week. Our drivers are all paid drivers. We have a huge volunteer force who help us both fetch, deliver, share the message, work at markets, help us cook when we ever cook. It's just a whole range of things. So between pickup and delivery is probably about 2 to 3 hours.
I thought the gold medal was going to come in Rio 2016. The gold medal came in London 2012. So that future shape for me. There's an international aid and development organisation that's evolving. Hopefully it's going to be as big as World Vision, using sport to change the world. So that's definitely the next thing that's on the boil. Sport matters. Sport Matters was born. Two of us who've used a lot of energy for evil have finally realised we can put our energy into good. And both of us, I've done a lot of work with people with disabilities in developing countries, working, coaching sport, and actually realising that sport's such a powerful tool to bring people together and bring communities together, empower individuals and change lives. Initially it was just sport. Jackie's done a lot of that on a more academic level, and we've realised that if we want to do it on a much grander scale, we can always volunteer in developing countries on our own for other organisations, but we've actually set up something called Sport Matters, which is growing and growing. We've had our second birthday, our first international conference. We've got projects running in Laos, in the Solomons. We're heading to East Timor and Indigenous Australia, and call us, we're ready for you. And it's beautiful. Aid and development is about identifying what needs to be done in a community, what a community needs, like non-communicable diseases and heart disease. Obesity in Australia is just a horrific thing that's going to cause a long-term damage in the future. By using sport to empower people and change communities, we're going to do a lot of, I don't know, even financial saving to our health system in the long term. But it's building structures to make that happen, to make society change their behaviours is a huge challenge, and I think we need a lot more effort behind this country to make that happen. And on a different scale, like within Australia, but also more sport, less poverty. Let's bring people together. Like from a disability perspective, isolated with disability in a developing country, you've got little chance of changing your world. But as a team of wheelchair basketball players griping about what's going on in your community, you've got so much more power. Why not make that team a fun place to create change?
So Manly Entrepreneurs, I joined up about 2.5 years ago. It was a few guys having beers at the pub. It was actually called Geeks and something at the time, and which was great. But then over time, as I kind of got to know the guys, and you know, we kind of wanted to get more value out of those catch-ups. And so you know, earlier this year we decided to start doing more formal presentations, that kind of thing. And then as I got to know more and more, I started to realise that there's a lot of people, you know, in the Manly area that you know, are doing really, you know, special things and have great success in their own right. But they're either doing it from the city or they're doing it out of their home because there's nowhere really to do it. So, which is what inspired the Manly Emporium. So it was really just, you know, let's create the co-working space in Manly, make it something special so that it's, you know, it's special in Manly, and give these guys somewhere to do what they're doing. That's where the Manly Emporium kind of come about. We still have Manly Entrepreneurs is a bigger group, and there's kind of the tech area of Manly Entrepreneurs. So there's guys that focus on you know, social enterprise, there's guys that focus on tech enterprise. Tech enterprise is where my passion is. So that's why we created this concept called Tech Beach, which is all about you know, taking those tech guys and really just creating an incubator for accelerated growth. So we want to help them really just, you know, get going. So all the learnings from that, you know, that up and down, and kind of go, well, you know what, that took me 8 years. Let's condense that with all those learnings and let's do it a lot faster. You know, like if you want to get to the end, it's going to be more fun if you do it quicker.
And I also think a lot of my energy comes from being powerful to be who I am, being able to be who I am, and being true to myself. So living the life I want to live. I definitely have my ears and eyes and heart open for opportunities, and if the opportunities are right, I run with the opportunities. And I think that gives me a lot more power because I'm living the way I want to live. It's hard to know exactly where you get your energy, but I think I had an amazingly alternative upbringing. We lived in a caravan on the house on the beach with 5 cats, 3 goats, a rabbit and a pig, and didn't really go to school till we moved back to Australia when I was 7. 2 very alternate parents who gave me the freedom, or gave my sister and I both the freedom to be ourselves and free thinking and think quite differently to the average person. But I've also, somewhere in amongst that, I've also learnt to fit into the box, so to live in the box as well as outside the box, but also, I don't know, just to love nature and enjoy being with people, being with life. I don't know, just love life. There's always going to be, you're always going to complain, but like so many people in life complain about this situation and do nothing to change it. Like, but why not do what you love? Mm.
It's an odd and foreign question to so many people. What would you love? And they've got so many reasons like it's impossible that they never take a step towards it. So how do you talk to someone like that?
You just got to show them the possibility. My dream was to live on the waterfront when I retire, and then I realised I can actually do it now. The credit union wouldn't let me do it, and the bank let me do it. Now I live on the waterfront. I'm 20 years ahead. Woohoo! I wake up every morning in joy. Like, why not live the life that you want to live? About having the people around, and I said that at the beginning, having that team around you of support and belief, like that's, like whilst there are the boxes, there's also beauty and love. I mean, there's beauty and love everywhere as well. If you put it out there and you feel it, it's there. And so having that support and belief in you creates energy and drive. Yeah. And power. Yeah, I can run a project that links kids from the mainstream with kids with disabilities and raise awareness and connection and love and make buddies for life. Because I can see a gap.
So the drive really comes from you know, what's in it at the end. So you know, having a big house for the family, you know, being able to do a lot of the things that we would like to be able to do. I mean, I'd love to actually live in Manly itself, but you know, needing 6 bedrooms is kind of a little bit limiting. So looking forward to the day where we could afford to move a bit closer to the beach and that kind of thing. So so that's been a big driver, and being able to do things more with the family, so being able to go on more holidays and things like that. And because with 5 kids, it's challenging to go on a holiday. So we went on a holiday, family holiday, just recently where it was 6 adults and 9 kids. So it was quite interesting. So you kind of need a little bit of extra money for that. But I always share that also with my kids. So if they see me working, or if they they want to know what's happening, I kind of share that dream with them. So I'm like making sure that they understand that you've got to work hard to get there, and this is what we're going to enjoy one day. So.
I know at one point in time, when I was younger, a lot younger, my drive really came out of my own selfish desires, wanting to please myself, wanting to do things that kept me happy and made me feel good. About 15 years ago, I made a decision in my life which, since that time, has absolutely transformed everything I do and say. And that was a decision to make Jesus Christ the Lord of my life. And as such, He's directed every step since that time. And it's been an incredible journey where doors have opened, where opportunities have been given to me which I've only ever dreamed of. I only ever thought, oh geez, if only I could have that opportunity, if only I could do this. Yet those doors have opened up to me, and the opportunities have been given to me.
I've never done anything that I didn't love what I do. I ran my own business for 18 years, so it was stimulating, exciting, challenging, difficult, because I never had abundant money. I always had to work and always continue having to work. Nothing's changed there. But it was lovely. I loved providing the service. I'm a service provider, basically. My business was putting on special events, and I wanted to put on the best, most magnificent events I possibly could. And I think I did that in a lot of cases.
I thought the gold medal was going to come in Rio 2016. The gold medal came in London 2012. So that future shape for me. There's an international aid and development organisation that's evolving. Hopefully it's going to be as big as World Vision, using sport to change the world. So that's definitely the next thing that's on the boil. What's
going on over in East Timor, and there's some friends of mine who run a whole bunch of different ministries over there, and they're working with schools, they're working in dental clinics, they're taking girls who have come from sexually abused backgrounds and giving them hope, giving them family, giving them a love that's like no other. And I just think it's an honour and a privilege for me to have a small part in the background supporting those things. So that for me just helps me want to get out of bed, helps me want to go and do what I can do and make a difference in the world. Small though it may be, I can do my part. So I'm excited about things like that. It's not something that I consciously think about, but you just see the change that comes from your behaviour. And it's not something that comes immediately, and it is that ripple effect. It is a ripple effect and it takes time. The difficult thing about aid and development is that it's really hard to measure
the specific, like you want to make that specific impact, but the specific impact is almost immeasurable and you don't know when people are going to take that on board. And also you rarely get the feedback about the impact you've had. I mean, I talk about a whole bunch of stuff about workplace safety. This happened to me, it was a moment of lack of concentration, and I know that I changed people's behaviour in the workplace. But you really never really get to feel that you do, but it's just a sense of knowing. You know what? Like, it's frightening. I don't know, just because I'm an athlete and I love life doesn't mean I should have the power to give that message to people. But I know the message is there. Yeah, I like life. Oh, some days, mate, some days. But yeah, like when you achieve what you want to achieve, it's empowering. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's hiccups along the way, and I've had a whole bunch of crashes and smashes this week. I mean, my new leg doesn't fit. Like, I've waited about 14 months to get this leg right, and I've got this new orthotic, and it doesn't fit properly. I feel like I've got one horse's leg and one cow's leg. Like, that's... But you know what, I can dwell on the fact that I'm clomping, but I don't know, there's more to life than worrying about your clomping. It's frustrating, don't get me wrong, but yeah. There's tough decisions to make along the way. There's sacrifice that happens along the way. I mean, that's in everybody's life. But I think if you keep your eye on where you're going rather than what's behind you, it makes it easy to go forward.
So the failure thing, I mean, it's very much like a roller coaster. Some days, you know, you think, wow, this is going really well. You know, might win an award or might do something and it's really cool. But there's many times where, yeah, you think, you know, is it really worth it? Is it, you know, is it all for anything? Is it going to kind of come undone? But definitely that happens quite often. So, you know, there's definitely been a few times where we even thought, well, you know, should we just end the company and you know, it's looking pretty bad. You know, how are we going to get out of this hole? That kind of things, that happens. So, you know, each time that we've kind of had to ask those questions about, you know, what are we actually doing? You know, I've had some really good support around, you know, just sounding out what, you know, why are you saying that and what, you know, why is it and what can you do to change that? One of the biggest obstacles, and this just comes in with starting a business, is I guess, not having an income. So when we, you know, typically when you start a company or start an organisation, you know, there's not much income if at all. So it's living off things like credit cards and, you know, living off, you know, day to day. And it kind of, you know, when you get to the end of the month and it's like, you know, you're supposed to get paid and there's not enough cash in the bank to be paid, it's quite daunting to kind of then juggle, well, you know, I owe these people, I've got no money and I don't know when I'm going to get paid next. And that can be quite daunting in the early stages.
The obstacles that I've had to overcome in my journey of life, my journey this far, you know, I reckon most of them revolve around me and my flaws, the things about me that I'm not happy with, the things about me that I wish were different. You know, I'd like to be a better husband to my wife. I wish I could be a father that my kids really deserve. And it's not to say that I'm a bad father or a bad husband, but I wish I could be better. I
have failed a squillion times, no doubt about it. My absolute lack of attention to detail often gets in the way of getting things done right. And I think also part of that is building networks around, so there's other people with different skill sets around us, so we're actually in a team to achieve what we need to achieve. But letting other people down, I mean, you're failing yourself, but most of the time when you're failing yourself, you're actually failing a whole bunch of people around you, which is more motivating to get it right. But I think as we get older and wiser, we build a network of people around us, so as a team, we're operating as a whole. And I think as an athlete and as someone now in a big organisation and as a school teacher, you can't operate in isolation. You've just got to have these, it's a whole bunch of cogs in a wheel getting the thing at the end. The gold medal doesn't belong just to me, it was my teammate. I had one, Skipper and myself trimming the sails. We had 2 coaches and a carer, and then we've got a whole squillion bunches of people around us making that perfect and making us have a regatta where we didn't have one screw up. That's all it took. So not failing in that regatta was 11 races without a major thing that goes wrong. All our training, we had regatta after regatta with catastrophe after catastrophe, but performing when we needed to perform was what won that medal. So yeah, there was a lot of failure on the journey to the gold medal. I've got not one single photo of myself with a smile on my face with a silver medal around my neck at the Sydney 2000 Paralympic Games in front of friends and family. I mean, I only failed. But bouncing back after that, I ended up, I don't know, playing professional wheelchair basketball in Europe and another Paralympics and another Paralympics and friendship and love and beauty. But at that moment, that wasn't what we went out to achieve, was not losing that last game. But 5 Paralympics of not getting what you want, there's a crevasse that you slide into. And sort of after 5, you sort of know what it looks like. And you've just got to claw yourself back out of that. I don't know, the sun keeps coming up, the garden keeps growing, you keep plodding through, and then you get higher and higher and higher and closer to the next big thing.
The only resistance I felt was when I started, a lot of people just said, yep, we're going to give you food. And then a couple started saying, well, it might be difficult and we're worried about our liability. So that spurred us on to having the laws amended to allow good food to be given away for free. I mean, my whole purpose was to make this the most hassle-free, easy way for people to give food away without them having to think or put any obstacles. So when that obstacle came up that people were worried about their own liability, we lobbied and had some pro bono lawyers help, and we had the laws amended in New South Wales, ACT, Queensland and South Australia to give food away for free. So that changed the face of food security in Australia, changed the face of the whole concept of waste, and the whole idea of food rescue didn't exist prior to OzHarvest.
It's absolutely a choice. Yeah, absolutely a choice. Yeah, I mean, what's happened? So what, I'm a paraplegic. You know what, it's not going to stop me living for now and loving this moment, but also working towards what I want to achieve in life.
A lot of my work colleagues wouldn't know so much about my family life and the fact that I've got 5 kids and how busy that is.
I grew up in Papua New Guinea, so I went there when I was 6 years old with Mum and Dad, and I left when I was 17.
Tomorrow night, Australian of the Year nomination.
So how did that come down?
Some beautiful friends from school and a great year. A gold medal, an International Aid and Development Organisation. Yeah, really overcoming some big hurdles and setting some goals, and my girlfriend said, wow, and nominate me. I don't think I'm going to get it in the slightest, but what an honour. What a great party to be a part of. Sail Melbourne. So next thing after that, national championships in sailing, wheelchair basketball starts next year. There's always a lot of things on the horizon.
What an international hockey goal. I have ice climbed in Antarctica.
I'm also very much a lover of sport, so I play sport.
They wouldn't know that I have a sister who lives in Israel and a sister who lives in Los Angeles, that I'm very close to them.
I love going overseas with the family as well, so family holidays is awesome. So going, taking the family on holidays, going shopping with my wife. So another thing that people wouldn't know is that I've more recently turned more into understanding fashion and because I love kind of going shopping with my wife whenever we kind of go overseas and stuff, and we kind of do that.
Something they wouldn't know is that I've actually climbed a volcano and stood in the crater where the steam and all that's coming out of the fissures in the rocks and that. That was pretty crazy. I've had guns pointed at me. I don't tell too many people about that, but that was in Africa and it's all a little bit crazy over there.
Well, they probably don't know that I was born in Mauritius, that I'm actually 60 years old. I'm married with 3 kids and a dog. What else? I like playing guitar.
I love climbing trees. I absolutely love gardening. Getting my hands in the earth makes me sane nearly every day of my whole life. It kills me when I can't do that. I'd like to be able to walk better and not have pain. And I'd love to spend more time drawing and sculpting. I'd like to speak more foreign languages. I'd like to speak better Spanish and better Italian.
Grateful for my position where I am now. Grateful for everything that's come along. So I'm grateful for my family, for my kids who also help me keep on the straight and narrow and keep that goal in place, because they want the same dreams that I want, because I share that with them. Very grateful for all the family around me as well that help, and all the friends that are very supportive as well. And it might also be support in that they might see that I'm working too hard or something, and they'll say, look, let's have a break, let's go and do something fun. You know what I mean? And that's just as much support as it is a business mentor saying, you know, look, you've got to do this way. So I'm very grateful for that, and grateful for the area that we're in and all the people that are here and being a part of it.
What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for being alive. That is so powerful. I know, I'm so grateful about being alive. Yep. I could have been dead with this injury. If I was in another country, I probably would have been dead. My mum passed away after the first day of Paralympic sailing, full on. I am so grateful I'm alive, and I think I love every moment because I am.
Yes, you are. You're actually as alive as anyone I've ever met. It's kind of, it's inspiring, is what it is.
Thank you.
And I know it's why Jen wanted you to be part of this.
It really is about being and about enjoying life. And to fling that on, like mud splattering or paint or joy or glitter. Open that can of worms. Don't be afraid to make a change. And also talk about your dreams. I think people have got some stuff inside them and they don't talk about the dreams. Me even saying that I want to paint and sculpt. It's about making that happen, actually making time. I've got time. If I wanted to do it, there's time.
Thank the Bloom Brilliantly community for being extraordinary and sharing who they are and the extraordinariness in their lives. I'd also like to particularly thank the Bloom Brilliantly team of people who have caused all this to happen through a telephone call they've made, a space or an opportunity they've given, for a post they've put on Facebook one day, for organising an event, for filming, for creating artwork. Every little thing that people have done has caused a difference, and it may have occurred to them to have taken 2 minutes, but it's been a real generosity of their time and who they are in causing other people to shine and show how extraordinary people can be in life through doing little things. So I really thank everyone for being involved, and thank you for being extraordinary in who you are, because it's helped all of us shine and bloom brilliantly, and you're all extraordinary people. Thank you.
People live their whole lives and don't realize that the mountains they can climb are higher than the highest heights. So run, reach for your dreams, do extraordinary things. It's in us all. So fly up into the sky, so nobody can deny. Reach your potential. You're searching, and when you find it, everything will fall in line. And we discover what lies within. We'll live the lives we were born to live. So run, reach for your dreams, do extraordinary things. It's in us all. So fly up into the sky, so nobody can deny. Reach your potential. You will see, problem it brilliantly. Welcome to life, blah blossoming thrive.